friends, I'm back for another reading vlog. I will be very honest, the past 2-3 weeks have been very, very stressful. I transitioned to going back to work, and I not only transitioned going back to work, I transitioned going back to work in a way that I haven't done since 2019. So it's been just a very, very big transition, and things are still not perfect, and they're still not going the way that I was hoping they would. So I'm not even very overwhelmed, but I'm very much overthinking everything that I'm doing, and it's just causing me a lot of anxiousness because I'm I need to do XYZ, but I also literally don't have enough hours in a day. And when I go home, I want to relax, de-stress, hang out with the puppet, read, work out, and all of those things. And I just find I can't do those things because everything at work is not done. And I haven't had to do this in a very, very long time. I teach theater, and I taught theater very differently the past 2 to 3 years just due to the pandemic. But it's going back to how I used to teach, and it's just a little bit stressful. Just to try to get all my ducklets in a row and figuring out grading and everything. So it's a lot. It's a little bit overwhelming. But the good news is it will get easier. Every day gets easier. Every day I get more information. So it's a process. But I'm just really having a hard time focusing on just about anything. So I really just want to take this weekend and really just get into a habit of reading more consistently. Because I know I love reading, but I'm just not picking up books that are really capturing me. So I have some options. I'm gonna start with Theo and the Fox Spirit by Jessie Q. Sutanto. These books are super short too, so hopefully that will motivate me. This is 300 pages. I read Jessie Q. Sutanto's her adult books. I read her Dial A for Auntie series and really, really enjoyed it. And this is Chinese mythology, I think, and I love anything mythology based. So hopefully this will be great. And then I have another middle grade book, So Are Boaton's Guide to Vampire Hunting by Roseanne A. Brown. This is another book that I'm super excited for. I'm probably going to read this more next week, but I'm putting in this reading blog in case I finish it. And then my two witchy books is Payback's a Witch by Lana Harper and Go Hex Yourself by Jessica Clare. So I just bought these books, so I figured this will be a nice TBR, and I'm going to read one and then kind of deviate back and just hope that I can get to some consistency, because that's really has not been happening. I've been DNFing a lot and stopping books and changing the format I've been reading, so hopefully I could take today and Sunday when I'm traveling to just sort of get into a habit. And next week, I really want to get into a habit of putting away work. But yeah, so that is the plan. I'm going to start with Theo and the Fox Spirits. I also do have an ebook that I'm listening to. I'm reading, but that will come later because it's just it's a contemporary, which I'm really liking. So, but yeah, I'm going to go read a little bit more of this. I literally don't know much about it. I've literally read a page, so I'm going to read a little bit more, give you guys an update, go back to my channels, my reading sprints that I'm doing on 4 Paws and a Books channel. And yeah, I'm going to go read about 50 pages of this and hope I make some progress. But I know it has to do with Fox Spirits, and that is my favorite part of mythologies. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to go read about 50 pages, and then I'll give you guys an update. Bye, friends. I'm back. It is the next day. I did wind up just finishing 50 pages in Theo and the Fox Spirit, and I'm really liking it. This is written by the same author that wrote the 4 Aunties and a Wedding series. She has some YA books that I haven't checked out yet, but I'm liking this. You basically follow this main character, Theo, and he lives in California, and there's mythology is just sort of infused in their world, and he is Chinese American. He's first generation Chinese American. And his older brother and him they've fallen a little bit out of sorts just because his brother has a fox spirit and she's really close to him. But when his brother dies in a freak accident, the fox spirit and him need to sort of team up to sort of work together to figure out what really happened. And there's a school present and accounted for, which I'm really, really liking. I really, really like her writing style. If you've been following my reading blogs since I started school, it's been really hard for me to focus on anything. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm also listening to the Shadow Crosser, which is the third book in the J.C. Cervantes' Rick Riordan Presents series. I'm really liking that as well. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So it definitely does deal with grief about him losing his brother. I'm sure that there's going to be some elements that sort of they have to work together to figure out what happened to his brother. But he has to go to like a school. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm going to give you guys an update when I read about 50 more pages, and hopefully I'll have more information. Bye, friends. I'm back. I just want to do a quick update. I did wind up reading a little bit more of the Storm Runner book, the last book, Shadow Crosser, in that series. I'm really, really close to the end. I'm enjoying it. I'm really excited to read the sequel series as well. It comes out this month, but I have like 3 hours left. I'm planning to go for a walk later with the puppet. She's over there. She's sleeping. But I did want to say that I went up with page 100 in Theo, and the Fox Spirit. It is a very, very quick read, and I'm devouring it. I really do like that Kai, the two main point of view characters in the story is Theo, obviously the young man, and then you have Kai, a fox spirit. I love fox spirits. And basically there is a mystery afoot to how his brother died, and basically his brother left him a notebook that is full of secrets, and he sort of gets himself worked up going into the program that his brother was a part of. And they're sort of teamed up to try to save the day. And now there's going to be a magic school president accounted for, which is definitely one of my favorite middle grade tropes. I love magic schools. They're really, really fun. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. There was also a little bit of like quest elements, like they had to like do a quest that was connected to their heritage, which I think is very interesting. And this book doesn't only just have Chinese American, it has a lot of different other mythologies as well, which I also like, which you don't really see a lot. When I read the new Julie Kagawa middle grade book, that also had a lot of different mythologies present. Normally it focuses on one, so even though like this is focused on Chinese mythology, there is also a lot of other mythologies that are going to be present throughout this read. But I really do like both characters. I also do like that there are footnotes at the bottom. I think that's an interesting choice for a middle grade, to teach them how to read footnotes, because when you get through middle school and high school, that is really, really important. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So I'm going to read another like 100 pages for sure. And then maybe I'll take the puppy for a walk a little bit. It's actually getting cooler, which means we can probably go for walks. It's been really, really hot this whole summer, and I love hot. She does not, though. So yeah, my plan is to film tonight as well when my mom gets home, or if she takes a nap. She's sleeping now, but it's not really a nap. Maybe it will be a nap, we don't know. But yeah, so that's my plan. I'm gonna go back to reading, and just relaxing and just decompressing. Going back to school is always a little bit hard, just like structure-wise and scheduling-wise. But yeah, all right, I'm gonna go read another 50 pages of this, and then I'll give you guys an update. Bye, friends. And I am watching BookTube. I have 80 videos left. My goal is to also make my way through Umbrella Academy today as well. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. Just want to do a quick check-in before I feed the puppy. She is waiting for her food. I did want to listening to a little bit more of the last book in the Stormrunner series by J.C. Cervantes. I have about like 3 hours left. The puppy's making an appearance, so if you see little paws jump up on my bed, that is why. There you go. What is here? Hi, say hi. Say hi. Oh, yeah. Want to say hi to the camera? Want to say hi? Hi. Yeah. Okay. She ran away. I'm going to feed you in a little bit. But yeah, so I did want to be listening to that. When I feed her, I'm also going to listen to that because she takes like a good like a half hour to eat. But I did want to say that I did wind up reading to page 150 in Theo and the Fox Spirit. I am really liking this. It does deal a lot with like grief because he did lose his brother. And the other character in this book is the Fox Spirit, and that was his brother's Fox Spirit. Like, that was his companion. I also like the school. It's, like, very different because it's not just one mythology. It's quite a few, which I think is unique. And there is a mystery sort of afoot that his brother sort of put in plans for him to figure out. And I'm just curious if this is going to be, like, a trilogy, if it's going to be a standalone. But I'm loving the mythology elements. It does definitely have a school aspect to it, which is probably some of my favorite middle grade to read. Like, I love the early books in the Keeper Velocity series because it had a pretty prominent school setting, along with obviously Harry Potter in the past, and then the Percy Jackson series had a camp setting. But yeah, I just really like the way the story is structured. It's very, very fast paced and very, very adventurous, which honestly is what I need right now. I need something that's going to keep me reading, and this book is doing that. And I like that we do get both characters' point of view, because I think that their experience with the brother was really different, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm gonna read probably like another 50 pages and give you guys another update. I really hope this kicks my reading slump. That's what I hope. So I'm gonna go read a little bit more. I am liking it. I like that the mystery is sort of developing a little bit more, and I like that also Theo is sort of having other friends in the school, which is what I was a little bit worried about. But you know, just like sometimes with stories like this, it's very like one character and that's it. But they are also inviting other characters into the world. There's also some mystery elements with the school that I'm really excited for. My puppy is very upset, so I'm gonna feed my puppy, take it for a walk, maybe listen to a little bit more of my book, and I will report back when I read at least 50 more pages of this, and then we'll chat. Bye, friends. Friends, Lori here. It's about 9:32. I did wind up stop watching Umbrella Academy. Really enjoying it though, which is really, really good. But I'm just going to watch some YouTube until the rest of the night. I would love to finish this tonight. I have about 120 pages left. It is only 9:30. I do have to wake up somewhat early tomorrow because I'm going to the Renaissance Fair, but I would love to take a new book with me, so that is motivation. But I am enjoying this. I like the dynamics between the characters. I like that it's becoming a bigger story. Like there is a lot of stuff happening, a lot of mysteries that are present and accounted for, which I'm really enjoying. I'm liking the complexities of the Fox Spirit's character, because she's dealing with a lot in this story. Like she's dealing with a lot of grief because she didn't think she understood her former like person Jamie that well, but she's also trying to develop a bond with Theo, and they have never liked each other. So it's a very, very interesting story, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm loving the mythology elements. I'm also loving how, even though this is focused on Chinese mythology, it does also mention like other mythologies, which I'm really, really liking. I like the magic school elements very, very much as well, and I think it's very interesting because you have like a very interesting chat about like knowing your heritage, and how Theo doesn't feel that he knows his heritage because he feels like he's more American than Chinese. And then you also have other conversations about like, you know, the using your cute like your essence to get this magic is very different from how the society in this community has like built their magic. So it's just very, very interesting, and it's like new world, like, you know, almost being like Americanized. I can see an allegory to that versus like going into your own culture. So it's very, very interesting, very, very compelling, with also a lot of grief undertones for both characters in this story. So be mindful of that. But I'm gonna go read another 50 pages and see what time it is. I did wake up a little bit early tomorrow. Oh, I did finish the Stormrunner series as well. I did like it. I think I probably should have just slowed down my audiobook for the first half, because first half of the book I felt a little bit lost, but that was more of a me problem. So, you know. But I'm gonna read another 50 pages and then I'll give you guys an update. Bye, friends. I'm back. So I did wind up getting up to page 209 in Theo, Tan, and the Fox Spirit, but I think I'm just gonna take this into the city with me tomorrow. So I'm gonna pick up my ebook that I was listening to on my Kindle. It's called Home Game by Odette Stone. It's like a hockey romance, which I don't ever read, but a lot of the girls that I follow, the romance booktubers, like were really, really recommending it. So I think I'm gonna pick up that because I haven't read it the past couple of days of work because I was just very, very stressed. But I think I'm gonna bring this with me, and I think I'm gonna bring one of my I'm gonna bring this, and I'm gonna bring one of my like spooky romances. So I think those are the two books I'm gonna bring with me tomorrow. And yeah, so I'm gonna go read Odette Stone's, and if I have another update for you guys, I will do it before I go to bed for the evening. If not, I will just check in with you guys tomorrow when I come home from my trip, which will be super fun. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. If I don't update you guys again tonight, we will see. Bye, friends.
Laura from the future popping in. I just wanted to say that I did wind up finishing Theo, Tan, and the Fox Spirit. The next clip you're going to see is me just going into Sierra Boaton's. But I did really like this. I gave it 4 stars for review. I thought it was a solid read. I read it mostly on my commute back from the Ren Fair. It was really, really fun. I think that I have always loved Jesse Q. Satanzo's writing style. This book did deal with a lot of grief elements, but it also had a really fun dynamic because you're following Theo, which is a human, and then you're following Kai, who is a fox spirit. And they're sort of forced to work together, and they don't really have the best relationship at the start. And it was just a really, really fun questing story. It was a very, very small, insular story, unlike a book like this that has a really, really wide cast of characters. But I think the focus really was on Theo and Kai's relationship, or her relationship with him, and I really, really liked it. There was elements. I think that it set up the potentiality for a sequel. I'm super excited. I gave it 4 stars, and I'm really excited to see how the series goes. And now let's go back to Laura in the future, where I'm going to tell you about Sarah Boaton. Bye, friends. But I did wind up picking up another middle grade. I think I'm probably going to split this filming chunk into 2 different vlogs, because I'm going to have a couple more like this book, and I'm going to have a couple more like this, a couple more, middle grade. But yeah, I literally just read like the first 2 chapters of this one. And the only thing I know is about vampires and Ghanaian mythology. Every Rick Riordan book I read, I love. So I'm hoping this one is very, very similar. It sounds perfect to read during fall. It gives me Major Buffy vibes. And I'm really excited. So I'm going to go read. I think I have a meeting tonight. And I have like a chat with my podcast that I'm on. Yeah, we're heading into a 4-day weekend. So I'm hopefully going to get some filming done. But yeah, so that is my plan. I really, really want to read a bit more tonight. I've only read about 10 pages, which, again, I really want to be done with this by Friday. So I have to get some reading done. But yeah, that is my plan. I'm gonna go read. I worked out, which is really, really nice. I printed out the stuff I need for work tomorrow, which is good. The puppy's in trouble. So that is why my photos can't include her, because she's in her cage and she can't take her out. But yeah, I'm going to go to read for a little bit, and I'll update you guys when I read maybe to like chapter 50, because this is a pretty long book, and then I'll give you guys an update. Bye, friends. I'm back for another update. It is 6:30 on the 22nd. I did wind up reading to page 102 in Sarah Bowerton's Guide to Vampire Hunting. I am really enjoying it. Sorry if I sound so stuffy. I am stuffy. I think being back at work made me catch a small cold. So yeah, sorry if I sound a little bit stuffy. But I am really liking it. It's like a fun read, like very, very action packed, very, very fast paced. You basically follow this main character named Sarah Boaton, and she and her family are vampire hunters, and they sort of go across the world hunting vampires. Well, mostly across the US, but I think they also go across the world. And she has never been to real school, and this is basically very, very steeped in Ghanaian folklore and Ghana mythology, which I'm really liking because I've never read anything like that before. And I'm really enjoying it. But after an incident happens, she is sent to live with her aunt and her cousin in a small town, and she is like very much trained to be a fighter. It really reminds me of like being a demigod and like being like very much like sent back to like a normal environment, sort of like when Apollo was transferred into Papadopoulos and the whole premise of that. So it really does give me that vibes, because she's sort of forced to go back to like a normal way of life, and everything she sees is like vampires. So it's a very, very interesting. She starts a food fight in the first couple of chapters. It's very, very fun, very, 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 very fast paced, but I'm really, really liking it. So my goal is to read another 100 pages, hopefully tonight. But there are vampires. I think it'll be a great fall read. A lot of like representation. There's also like a really interesting chapter about her in a relationship with a teacher and how she gets her name wrong. There's also a very interesting conversation about how all these characters are put into tension because they're the few black or non-white people in the school, and it's just very compelling. Like very interesting conversations are happening, and I'm really liking that. So yeah, I'm gonna go read another 50 pages hopefully, and I'll give you guys another update. But yeah, I'm really liking it and happy that I picked it up. I want to check out her YA series as well, but this is just the first one that popped. And yeah, I'm gonna go back to reading, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. I'm back. I did wind up getting up to chapter 150 in Sarah Boaton's Guide to Vampire Hunting.
I am really liking this book. There are scenes in this book that make me so angry because I am a teacher and I do teach in like a city. Um, she is in a small, like a suburb of, I think, Georgia, I think. Maybe that's where, I don't even remember where she went, but she's in a small town and she is one of the few black children in this town. So the reaction to her treated her by the teachers in this school makes me so angry. I will say that there was a scene where she is basically very, very smart. She's been homeschooled, so she's like very, very above and beyond where her current class is. And the comments her teacher makes me want to throw my book across the room because I am a teacher, and it's just very, very gross. Um, but I also do like that she found her own Scooby Gang. If you are a um, if you're a Buffy fan, you know what I'm talking about, because I love when there's a Scooby Gang present and accounted for, especially when these characters don't really have any magical powers. That's probably my favorite, minus Willow in Buffy, who is one of my favorite characters. But I love that element to a story. Yeah, I'm just gonna again, I'm sorry if I've sounded a little bit stuffy. I definitely do have a small cold. The kids got me sick. They always do every year. So nothing to be concerned about. But yeah, it's about 8:27. I'm doing reading sprints with Peace Love Books. I feel like I have finally reached a point where I can read and not be so unfocused. So yeah, that's actually a good step in the right direction because I didn't feel that like for the past 2 weeks. So, but I am getting back into the swing of things. So my goal is to read another 50 pages before I head to like, relaxing, but that would be really, really good. My goal was to finish this book tomorrow. I don't know if that's going to happen, but yeah, I'm really liking it. And I'm liking the characters. I'm liking the mythology. I'm liking how she is definitely the main character in the story and really is propelling it. Basically, there's a vampire in her school and she is the only one that's able to see it. So she sort of can't gathered a little gang to try to help her figure out. Her parents are on the run from a different monster, and she's sort of stuck in this small town with her cousin, and she has to sort of save the day, and no one believes her. So I like books about that, like books about that topic. So I'm very, very intrigued. So I'm gonna keep reading, and if I don't give you an update today, I'll give you an update tomorrow. Bye, friends.
I'm back. Sorry for the weird lighting. I have a 4-day weekend, so it's 6:15. I just got home from work. I have a lot of things on my to-do list, mostly because the past 2 weeks since school has started has been so freaking chaotic and so freaking hectic. So I'm really gonna focus on catching up on everything this weekend. I do want to get a lot of reading done. I'm really gonna focus tonight on just catching up. I have a bunch of school stuff I gotta get done just so I'm not farther behind than I will be. We have 2 days off, so I feel like if I spend a day getting catched up and filming and prepping and stuff, I won't feel that behind when I go back to work on Wednesday, which will be nice, especially because Comic-Con is coming up. So yeah, I did change out my audiobook. I'm reading Don't Hex and Drive by Juliet Cross, which is the second book in her Stay a Spell series. It is really, really fun. I'm loving the listening experience. I'm still listening to Sarah Boaton's Guide to Vampire Hunting. This reading vlog I'm filming right now is probably going to have like 2 different vlogs included. Like I'm probably going to do a couple of my middle grade books in one vlog and then a couple of my like spooky eerie vlogs for a different vlog. So like you'll probably see this in 2 different clips. I don't know which vlog this is going to go into. It might go into one or the other. But yeah, I'm really liking Sarah Boaton quite a bit. It's just a really, really fun read. It also has a lot of like discussion about like modern day life and culture. There's a really interesting conversation happening about gods and religion. It's just like a very, very deep story, but with like a heavy action adventure stuff. And I love not even, I wouldn't say found family, but like ragtag group of heroes that are sort of forced to work together. And I love Sarah so much. She's just like a great character. I think I'm Sarah Boaton, but I'm really enjoying it. So I'm going to take a little bit of time and try to get my blog in order and then figure out Instagram, my YouTube. YouTube I'm probably going to film tomorrow. But I also have some grading I got to get done. So that is what I'm doing.
I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna listen to a little bit more of Head Don't Hex and Drive, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. I'm back. I did wind up doing a little bit of work. I wound up prepping my post for next week on my blog. I still need to do like Instagram stuff. I'm really, really far behind on filming my YouTube videos, which is definitely something I'm adjusting to, especially because now I have 3 platforms that are video. This one, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, they all have video. It's just the way the algorithm now works. If you want to get any traction on any of those platforms, especially on Instagram, you got to post reels. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to post that this week, especially with work and such like that. So just, a lot of meandering. But I also do have 4 days off, so I'm trying to like take a couple hours every day and get a lot of stuff done. So I don't feel like I'm overtly behind when I go back to work, because the first 2 weeks of school is just a lot of grading, and organizing and stuff and changing stuff, because everything changes every day you go into school. It's like you learn something new. So just trying to adjust to all that. But I said previously, I did get up to maybe about 200 in Sarah Bowerton's Guide to Vampire Hunting. Really enjoying it. It's very, very funny. It has a very, very witty sense of humor. And I love her as a main character. And I think, as I said in my previous clips, it does deal with a lot of harder issues that just resonate with me. Especially because I'm a teacher, and there's a lot of teacher-led scenes in here that are making me like very, very frustrated and very, very angry, because I know that does happen. Probably even in the city schools, just not where I am. But like, it's just making me very, very frustrated. Yeah, so it's good. It's a very, very good like lesson. And it's funny because there was a scene about a teacher getting her name wrong, and I always struggle with names the first 2 to 3 weeks of school. I just do. There's a lot of them. So yeah, I felt a little bit guilty reading that scene. I'll be a little bit honest, because I don't know all my kids' names either, but I am at least trying, unlike the teacher in this book, so I'll give myself a little bit of grace for that. But yeah, what I think I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna try to read like another 50 pages. It's almost 8 o'clock. I am a little bit tired. Sorry if my voice sounds horrible. I did contract a small cold this week. Yeah. Also, it was really, really cold today, which I'm not exactly thrilled about. But I am going to go read a little bit more, and then if I'm able to read about 50 more pages, I will check back in. Bye, friends. Back. I did wind up working in the morning. I filmed a video, have filmed another video, so I did my other stuff. I still have a lot of work I gotta get done, but I'm gonna try to relax. I do have a little bit of a cold, as you can probably tell. But my goal is to make some significant progress on this book. I am 200 pages into Sarah Bowerton's Guide to Vampire Hunting, and I want to make some progress on it. So that's my goal. I am really liking it. It's very, very action adventure-y. I'm liking the characters. It's a lot of humor, a lot of fun. It's great. And it's also dealing with a lot of harder issues, which I love when middle grade does, especially with the mythology books, because I think mythology books are very action adventure-y, but it's really good when they have like another hidden layer, and I think Roseanne Brown is doing that very, very effectively, and I'm really, really liking it. I think Sarah's a great main character. I love all the friends, the new original Scooby Gang. If you're a Buffy fan, you sort of know what I'm talking about, because that's what they called their gang of kids when they were forced to work together. So yeah, I'm gonna go read. My goal is to also watch a little bit of Umbrella Academy today. It's gotten so cold. It always happens in New York. You go from like 80 to 50, no transition. So hopefully like the next week we get some transitional weather, but I'm wearing my new sweater. I'll show you guys later. But yeah, I'm gonna go read and watch a little bit of Umbrella Academy, and I'll update you guys when I can. Right now I am on page 206. When I get up to 250, I'll give you guys an update. Bye, friends.
I do like my fall shirt. I got it from, I'll try to link the shop below. I don't know, I think it's like gone. I think it was like book design something. I'll try to link the shop below if I can remember. If I don't remember, comment below and I'll try to tell you. But it's really, really pretty. It's like bookish themed. It's actually warm too, which is nice. So my room in my house gets so freaking cold, because I'm the extension and the heat in here is not the best. So my room gets really, really cold in the winter. In the summer it's really not that bad because I don't really like AC, but in the winter it gets very, very cold and I'm always freezing. But I did wind up coming up with a plan for this reading vlog, which is happy. I'm happy about that. So I'll tell you guys the plan in a second. And I'm also about 250 pages into Sarah Boaton's Guide to Vampire Hunting. I always love when a book ventures to the underworld. I will say that. And that happens in a lot of these, mythology-themed novels. I also do love a quest, and a quest was present and accounted for. And I just love all the characters in this story. Like, they're so different and so unique. I think my favorite is probably Mateo. Um, yeah, Mateo, I think. Mateo is, like, very much, like, he's, like, a very, very shy character and is, like, very, very nervous about this whole thing. That would be me if I was ever in a situation like this. I would be Mateo. So he's, like, my soul animal is Mateo. But there also is a dog present accounted for. If you don't follow me on Instagram, we got a new puppy. And she is adorable. So whenever I see dogs in books, I always get very, very excited because it reminds me of Cassie. But yeah, I'm just really enjoying it. So I've got about 250 pages in. I'm gonna have to read another like 100 pages, which I think is definitely doable. And then when I'm done with this, which I definitely think I'll be able to finish this today, I'm gonna also read the Aru Shah graphic novel, which I have been waiting for my library hold to come in for like a significant amount of time. I have to double check that I still have access to it, but if I do, I'm just going to read that, and then I'm going to wrap up this reading vlog, and then I'm going to start a different one. I keep saying I'm going to do themed reading vlogs, and I think what I figured out is I'm going to do is I'm going to do themed reading vlogs. I'm just not going to read them back to back to back, because then I burn myself out super quickly, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to film 2 reading vlogs at a time, and whatever genres I'm reading, I'll just do that, but that's a little bit behind the scenes. But yeah, so I'm going to go watch a little bit more of The Umbrella Academy, read about 50 more pages of this, and then I'll give you guys an update. Bye, friends.
I'm back. It's about 4 o'clock. I did wind up taking the puppy for a walk. I listened to a little bit of a different audiobook that will be in a different reading vlog. But I did wind up getting up to page 400, or 300, I guess, in Sarah Boaton's Guide to Vampire Hunting. We are right at the crux of this story, and it's leading me in one direction, which makes me think the story is going to go in a different direction. I feel like the villain that's being like hyped up is a red herring. I could be wrong. But the one thing I love about this book is the kids that are sort of forced to work together and how Sarah sort of made her own team. And I just love that. I think that they're also so unique and so different. I'm definitely very, very partial to Mateo. He's a quiet one and he stutters. And that's just, I stuttered when I was a kid up until I was in like college. I still stutter if I get upset or I get really, really frustrated, but I stuttered a lot when I was a kid, so I really, really relate to Mateo a lot. But it's right at the crux of the story, like right at the crux. There is a very, I'm so angry at this teacher in the story. I want to like throw my book across the room. Sorry, I think I woke my puppy up. Yeah, here she comes. You might see her pause. Hi. Okay, now she doesn't want to say hi. But I really am liking it. So my goal is I have about 70% 70 pages left because there's like a big pretty. So I'm going to go read about 50 pages and then I'm going to give you guys my like final thoughts on this book. And yeah, and then I'm going to read one more, a graphic novel, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, so I'm going to go wrap this baby up and then we'll chat before the very, very end. If I can remember, I should be able to. Bye, friend.
Back. So I did wind up finishing Sarah Boaton's Guide to Vampire Hunting by Roseanne A. Brown. I really like this book. I think I'd probably give this book like 4.75 stars. Honestly, I'm just going to give it 5 on Goodreads, but I thought the ending was a little bit unclear. Again, I'm reading an arc, so I feel like some of my confusion is probably because it is an arc and things are tightened up. But the ending went in a way I did not see coming, which I'm surprised by. Like, you know, I'm surprised by the ending. I think book 2 is going to be very, very interesting. I think the highlight of this story was definitely her being a vampire hunter, but also having to deal with middle school and dealing with friends and that dynamic, which is really, really unfamiliar to her. I really loved it. I also loved more about learning about Ghanaian folklore. Like, that was super interesting to me as well, because I know little to nothing about that. There's also a lot of interesting conversations happening at school, like about teacher and student relationships. That did not really have an ending. I feel like maybe we'll get more in book 2. But I really, really loved it. So, I'm going to go try to see if I could finish Aru Shah, the graphic novel tonight. I finally got that from the library. So I'm going to go read that, see how far I could get. I think I'm just going to listen to some YouTube videos as background noise and try to finish it so I can wrap up this reading vlog. So I'm going to go do that, and I'll talk to you guys when I'm done with that. whether it be today or tomorrow, but I've been on a waiting list for the Arusha graphic novel for about 12 weeks. So I'm going to go read that, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. I just want to say that last night I did wind up finishing Arusha and the End of Time, the graphic novel. Was a nice review. I think looking at that series, I think Arusha, the first book, is definitely my least favorite in that series because I think it was setting up a world. It was a very, very small character. We did get to meet Minnie, and Minnie is one of my favorite characters in that series. But I enjoyed it. I think the art style was really, really fun, and I think I will probably continue reading them as they come out as a reread, but it was fun. It was it was a different experience. I think the story was a little bit tighter and a little bit clearer, but I enjoyed it. So, let's wrap up what I read in this reading vlog. I finished reading Theo Tan and the Fox Spirit by Jessie Q. Sutanto. This was a really, really fun read. It was a quick one, and I really enjoyed it. I probably gave this one like 4 stars, like 4.5 stars for review. And I will definitely check out book 2, and I really, really liked it. This was Chinese mythology, but had some other elements to it as well. And then I read Sarah Boaton's Guide to Vampire Hunting by Roseanne A. Brown. This is Gone in Mythology. I just chatted about it. I wound up giving this one 5 stars for review. I think the ending could have been a little bit tighter, but that's okay. And then I just read Arusha and the End of Time, the graphic novel, and I gave that 3 stars for review. So, thank you guys for following me on my mythology reading vlog. I think I'm finally out of my reading slump, which is super nice. And yeah, I'm going to go start my next reading vlog, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Let me know in the comments what are some mythology series you've checked out recently, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, friends.